As a guy who produces a weekly series about old school endings, I think it's fair to say that I love to see how a game concludes. I suspect the same is true for Pixelatto, the developers behind the wickedly inventive new platforming game, Reventure. This is a side-scroller where the object is to explore the kingdom in hopes of uncovering all 100 endings. From small to big to just plain crazy, you're not going to want to stop playing until you've seen them all. And that's not a bad thing, because I'm here to tell you that Reventure is one of the very best games of 2019. This is the all-too-familiar story of a brave hero adventuring out on his own in order to save the princess from an evil monster known as the Dark Lord. At least, that's the logline. In reality, Reventure spans more than 100 years of life and death seen through the eyes of one truly unlucky family tree. Each session tells a completely different story with a definite ending, even if that ending involves being blown up by your own bomb. Unlike most adventure games, the goal isn't to rescue the princess and save the day. I mean, you'll definitely want to get that ending just to see what happens, but it's not the focus. The goal of this game is to try and find all 100 ways for the game to end. It's almost like a scavenger hunt, where the hero is purposely trying to find different gruesome ways to die. And not just die, but also interact with the world. Let's go ahead and use the sword you get at the beginning of the game as an example. You can obviously use it to kill bad guys and save the princess, but you can also use it to murder a guard, stab this old guy, rob the local shop, and even turn on the king. All 4 of these choices will immediately result in a different ending. In fact, some of those choices will have long-lasting consequences for future generations, so fishing the lake in one run will clear out the deadly piranhas in the next. It gets to the point where you're starting to look for different ways and combinations to end the game. That dragon's always underground waiting for you, so the fun is finding different ways to milk it for different endings. You can melt the shield onto your face, use a magical trinket to confuse the beast, sneak up from behind and scare it, or I don't know, maybe just let the princess deal with it. This is how you start to look at the world. Reventure is less about 2D platforming than it is scoping out new possible endings. The clever trick they pull is teasing you with other possibilities. Every time you find a different ending, you'll also see new ways to conclude the story. Investigating these new leads will take you deeper into the castle and reveal a larger part of the mystery. And best of all, hunting down all these mysteries will help you memorize every nook and cranny of this large, interconnected world. Now, one thing that helps is that almost every helpful item is available to you right from the very start of your run. Aside from the sword we talked about earlier, you can also pick up a grappling hook, shovel, bombs, a bird, and more. All these items have important roles to play that'll make traversing this world a whole lot easier. But watch out, because they also weigh down our hero. Jumps that you used to be able to make are now out of reach, and that reduction of height only gets worse as you pick up more items. It can get to the point where the poor rescuer will be crushed by the weight of all of his items, which I think we can all agree is definitely not a good way to die. And it's not just that it has the most endings of the year, but also that it has one of the very best. After all the humor, pathos, and gruesome deaths, the game somehow finds a way to top itself in the final act. This is an immensely satisfying conclusion that is not just long, but also offers a shocking twist that you might not see coming. It's the perfect way to end a near-flawless action game, and I can't imagine anybody being disappointed by the finale of Reventure. Look, I'm not gonna mince words here. I love this game. This is easily the best side-scrolling platformer of the year, perhaps the best since Axiom Verge in 2015. And it's not just because of the exciting conceit and morbid sense of humor, but also because of the fast and tight gameplay. The world they've created is fun to explore, especially with all the shortcuts and secrets. A lot of the same endings can be tackled in completely different ways, which gives you a real sense of control over your fate. I'm impressed that the game doesn't fall into the usual traps of having cheap hits and precision problems. And even if you got rid of the fun gimmick, this would still be a great platformer on its own merits. Part of this is because of the world building it does. For what looks like a simple 8-bit game, there's a staggering amount of personality on display here. You start to learn more about this world and its various quirks through the 100 endings, and there's a hidden depth here that really caught me by surprise. And that's true of this entire game. From beginning to end, I was amazed and delighted by its originality, execution, and sense of humor. It's hard to believe that a game this polished came from a first-time developer. Don't let its simple look fool you, because Reventure is a straight-up masterpiece. This inventive platformer has you hunting down 100 endings in a fantasy world full of deadly possibilities. With tight gameplay and well-constructed level designs, this debut release from Pixelatto is a joy to play from beginning to end. It's also hilarious, referring to all kinds of pop culture goodies. If you like game endings as much as I do, then Reventure is an absolute must-buy. Hey, thanks for watching our review. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we post new reviews and features almost every day. Now here's the question I have for you. What is your favorite 2D platformer? There are literally thousands of games to choose from here, so there's no excuse for coming up blank. Let me see your picks in the comments below. In other news, we'll be back tomorrow with a fun episode where we try to figure out who has better covers, Japan or the United States. In the meantime, I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.